and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we're going to talk about one of those things that makes Hampton truly a special place, and people should choose Hampton for music. This time it will be Steven Brindle, who's our music director for the Hampton Roads Philharmonic. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
It was so good to hear that you guys are doing performances again. I think, missing live music has been one of the hardest things for me during COVID.
It really has, and it seems like it was so long ago, but I remember when the pandemic started, there was this big conversation about how now that there's so little to do that so many people are turning to the arts. And I think one of the tiny silver linings of COVID was that it really showed how people rely on the arts for entertainment and for more than, just an everyday sort of thing. So that was been a silver lining for us, is that sort of a new spotlight on the value of performing arts.
And you guys did some virtual events. Now, were those small groups? How do you get, okay.
Yeah, so we couldn't do any large groups or anything like that, particularly right at the height of it. But as we sort of decided to find our way forward, we did some chamber music performances. So my role during that time, since I wasn't able to do big orchestra concerts or anything like that, I was coordinating chamber music performances and in contact with members and basically playing matchmaker, trying to say, okay, we have a trio here that wants to perform, and then maybe a quartet, a woodwind quintet, and trying to find venues for them, and basically just trying to get everyone together, find them a space where they can distance out, and then we recorded it and just did it as a virtual concert series that way.
That's really neat. I had missed those. I'm going to have to go back and watch.
Yeah, some of them are pretty fun, yeah.
So you guys got through COVID, still performing, at least being virtual, not as a huge group. How are you doing this now?
So we've managed to return back to rehearsals, and we're doing, we're still taking kind of COVID very seriously. And so our philosophy has been that we want to reopen, we want to do what we do, and we acknowledge that, some people might not be ready to return yet, but we're going to put all the safety measures in place to do it. So we've managed, thankfully we have enough space to space out, to mask up, to put everyone on their own stand, open all the windows, circulate the air, blast the HVAC, and so we're doing all the things. And so we're back into full rehearsals now, but really stressing the importance of everyone taking it very seriously, and that's been treating us well so far.
That's exciting. Yeah. So what performances do you have upcoming?
So upcoming performances, even though it's barely what feels like fall now, 'tis the season for holiday music for us.
It absolutely is. I think we're all ready for that. Last Christmas was pretty subdued. Let's get in the holiday spirit.
That's our next upcoming performance, is what we call our Winter Classics and Holiday Favorites. It's kind of a blend of some classical music that's winter themed and also just the tried and true tunes that you hear on the radio all the time. And then also, like you said, we're in the mood for that. We need something uplifting, so we've added a few pieces that are just kind of fun. We had our harp player Mel Loff, and he composed a piece for us called the Christmas Tree Ordeal. This one everyone should come see. It is kind of a traditional holiday tune, but the theme of it is that the kids have to go up into the attic to retrieve the Christmas decorations, and on the way they encounter all of the Halloween decorations. And so it's like, if you're not a holiday, like Christmassy kind of person, this one mixes in all of the kind of spooky tunes from the classical literature in the mix of a holiday theme. And so we're adding some lighthearted stuff just to kind of, like you said, we're all in the mood for holiday stuff.
That sounds like so much fun. Yeah. Wow. So wait, I thought you had one coming up before then.
So we also have an event that's not open to the public per se. This is our Young Artist Competition.
Okay.
So that'll be on November 14th. The registration is still open with a deadline of November 5th. That's for young soloists to get the chance to play with us. It's a adjudicated competition. We bring in judges, and they compete on a solo piece, and the winner gets a cash prize and the opportunity to perform with the orchestra in March. So that'll be our showcase performance.
That's
then.
awesome. Now define young.
So our competition goes up to ages 21. And so the idea for us is to get anyone up through college age. Mm-hmm. And really the idea behind it is that if you want to go and be a soloist, there's a little bit of a catch-22 where you need experience to get experience, to get experience, and that sort of thing. So we're trying to get people that first step. So if they really want to take the next step from playing with a pianist. Normally you play with an accompanist when you're younger, to the big step of playing with a full orchestra. It's a whole different experience. So that's what we're trying to give players in the area.
Now, how are you funded? That sounds all very expensive.
It is. So we're primarily funded through individual donors, and right now we're actually in the process of our fall fundraising campaign as well. So almost. I would say 80+% of our budget is made up just by individual donors and small donations. So we really encourage people to give in any amount. We have a few corporate sponsors and a few partnerships in other ways, but largely it's just small individual donors that want to support music just by giving a small gift, and that makes up almost the entirety of our budget.
And do you charge for your performances?
In some we do. This year we are not. So all of our performances are going to be at the Fort Monroe Theater, and that's a free venue. So it's free and open to the public. Of course, we welcome people to come in and give us a donation as well, but we're not charging tickets at this time. And in previous seasons, we've performed at other venues like the American Theater, and we do charge tickets then. But
Places
right
you
now,
have to pay rent on. I guess Fort Monroe is very good to you.
yeah. So we have a really great arrangement where we're really fortunate to be able to perform there.
That's wonderful. Well, I think, Philharmonic music is sometimes people think it's fancy or it's inaccessible to folks, but boy,
yeah.
around the holiday season, it is accessible to everybody. And it might give some people a
Yes.
taste for it, and they would want to go on and hear more.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point, is that actually, so I also teach as one of my jobs as well. And so I was doing a lesson on classical music and what the breadth of it is and the history and the scope of it is. And we had a conversation about how most people think classical music is Mozart, about a tiny 30, 50, 60, 70-year block of music history. But really, there's a huge span of music that's performed, and it's not all what you associate as people in their tuxedos, and coming and sitting very proper. A lot of music is very wild and passionate and funny, and, like the Christmas tree ordeal and stuff. So I really try to break down those barriers and tell people that it's not what you imagine it to be. And some performances are very serious, sure, and have very intense music. And some of it is just fun. And almost every person that I invite out and say, just give it a shot. Just come. I know you might not be a symphony person. Give it a shot. And they love it. So I always encourage people and try to break down those barriers and say, give it a shot.
That's great. Yeah. Now, do you know the date and time of your holiday concert?
The holiday concert is, on the spot here, December 12th. And if I, for some reason, have that wrong off the top of my head, you can find us on hrphil.org or Facebook, Hampton Roads Philharmonic.
We'll get Wibbe to put it on the screen for us.
Sure.
But now tell us again your website, because if people are moved to help support your organization,
Sure.
they could learn more.
Our website's hrphil, P-H-I-L, hrphil.org, and you can go to /support, and that'll give all the different ways, whether it's an individual gift, if you are a corporate or business sponsorship, or even something as small as we're going into the holidays. Since we're a nonprofit, you can pair with Amazon Smile, and we can get a percentage of what you do with your online shopping that comes back to us. So we have
that's
a
a
big
good
list.
idea.
Yeah, and that one
Yeah.
costs literally nothing.
Absolutely,
That's just,
I know.
so there's a lot of ways you can support the orchestra there. So.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything you wanted to say that I have forgotten to ask you?
I don't think so. I mean, we're, like you said, we're just happy to be back doing what we're doing. And we really do it so that we can perform for people, and we're trying to get the word out and say, I know it's been a weird year, but we would love to see you come out to any of our concerts this year. And thank you for having us back. And we're excited to be back to the stage. It's almost surreal in some ways. It's been probably 19 months at this point, 18, 19 months. And the time just flew by.
I know. Well, that's great. And we are so thrilled that you're back performing. So thank you for watching Round Robin. I hope you will enjoy their holiday show. I mean, obviously not everybody can go, but it is a great family-friendly, fun event, and maybe you'll fall in love with the Hampton Roads Philharmonic. It's a great reason to choose Hampton. Thanks for watching.